the bottom of page 9, it says about mindset and attitude. Change your mindset to focus on being of service. Adapt an attitude of contribution. When you change your mindset to I'm going to sell something to someone, and you change it to I'm going to help someone find a dream home, is that not a different, doesn't that make you feel better or feel different? So change your mindset focus. Any conversation, any questions or thoughts around that? How does that make you feel? Anyone?
Better about selling houses.
Yeah.
It's not just for you, because when you're asking people, can I sell your house? It's okay, yeah, she wants the mission. Instead it's I want to help you.
Right. And doesn't it feel better to say you're helping people than you don't sell people houses? You introduce them to houses and you help them buy them, but you don't sell it. This isn't like I have a pencil, would you like to buy it? You know, you're introducing them to this opportunity of buying a home, and you have the choice to make it an amazing experience. So why wouldn't you want to work with me? You know, that's the attitude, and that's what I want you to leave this first class with. Is it's really not about selling. It's about creating opportunities, educating. It's about making sure that people have that like 5-star experience all the way across the board. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the 6 personal perspectives. Back a number of years ago, Gary Keller had a coach called Bain Henyon. Bain Henyon cost a lot of money, more money than any of us in this room would want to spend in a month to have as a coach. Things were going good at Keller Williams, but they weren't crazy good. Gary went to his coach and said, what do I need to do to make it differently? And Bain said, fire yourself. You're not a good CEO. Okay, I'm paying this guy $10,000 a month or whatever the crazy number was he was paying him. It was a lot. And he tells him to fire himself. So Gary says, okay, you're my coach, I pay you a lot of money, I'm going to fire myself. He went out and found Mo Anderson. Mo Anderson is still to this day, she's 86-ish. She is the cultural icon of our company. She is amazing, and she came in as what became termed the Velvet Hammer. She fired a bunch of regional directors, she closed some offices, and Keller Williams went from here to here almost overnight because she was a great CEO. And at that time, Gary got thinking seriously about how and why he did not fail, but what he could have done differently, and he developed this course called the 6 Personal Perspective. Each one of these is its own entity, and when you pay attention to them as a whole, it changes. It changes what you do. It changes how you see things. It changes how you look at things. So we're going to go through them a little bit. We're going to go through them a little bit. I thought there was another slide there. So on your page, there's a page with 3 little things. Mindset. It says, yep, you're on the right page. Mindset, attitude, and approach to life. If you turn to the next page, it starts out with self-mastery is. Do you mind reading under self-mastery is? Tell us what self-mastery is.
The possession of great knowledge, skills, and habits that make you the master of you.
Okay. So self-mastery, the possession of great knowledge, skills, and habits that make you the master of you. How many of you feel like you've mastered something in your life? Anything, okay? Really? Most people have mastered something. Most of them. I love in here to throw in this, my little analogy is, I was a avid softball player growing up. Played semi-women's professional softball before there was any professional softball. And in 7th grade, there was no junior high team, so I got to go try out for varsity. So I made varsity, and I played varsity for 7th and 8th grade. I was a farm girl, so I was strong. So 7th and 8th grade I played. All of a sudden, 9th grade, I show up and the same coach says, okay, Janice, I was a catcher. Why? Because I thought it was cool. I think the mask was cool or something. I don't know. So I show up. She says, Janice, I want you to pitch. I went, Coach, I'm a catcher. She goes, yeah, you're a good one. I want you to pitch. I said, okay. So how do I do that? What do I, So she said, come with me. So we went in the gym, and she drew a line at 40 feet from the wall. She drew a box approximately the size of my batter's box with an X in the middle of it. And she said, here's 2 buckets of balls, throw the ball. And I threw thousands of balls a week for this was in February. I always was way early in softball because I wanted to get started because I loved it so much. So it was like mid-February, right after February vacation, I started throwing softballs. And I threw them, and I threw them, and I'd go gather them up, and I put them in the bucket, I'd come back, and I'd throw them, and I'd throw them, and I would throw, I don't even know how many buckets of balls a day, every single day. Then I got my sister to stand in front of a thing at home in the weekends, and I'd throw more balls at my sister. And so, over the fact of chance of like 4, 5, 6 weeks, by the time softball started, I got this thing down. I was getting pretty good at this softball thing. So, long story short, I became very purposeful about becoming the master of that. I ended up being 14-1 my first year as a pitcher. And it wasn't because I was faster than anybody else. It wasn't that I was, had all this junk that I could throw. It's because I had mastered it. If my catcher held the glove up here, I hit the glove. She held it up here, I hit it up here. I just mastered it. So keep that in mind, because that's part of what's really important through the training process at Ignite is mastering that one thing, really lead generation, quite honestly, not throwing softballs. Because when you master that, it makes all the difference in the world. So, on to the next one, the 80-20 principle. How many of you have heard of the 80-20 principle? Okay? Basically, the 80-20 principle says 20% of what you do is going to produce 80% of your results. For me, it was throwing the balls. That was my 20%. Nothing else mattered in practice or running or anything, just throwing the balls. 20% of what you do is going to produce 80% of your results. So learning to figure out what that 20% is everything. Somebody like Erica, for example, may have a second job. If Erica has a second job, it's no problem, but you've got to find a way to have that time for that 20%. You don't need the 80%. You don't have to worry about having pretty flyers. You just need to lead generate, however you make that choice to do. So, 80-20 is going to be very important. You're going to hear about it all through Ignite, different times of Ignite. Okay, on next page we have moving from E to P. Can I get somebody to read the moving to E to P page? Grab it, Erica.
High achievers are always looking for the purposeful way. By doing this, they break through the ceiling of their natural behavior.
What E to P is? It's going from entrepreneurial to purposeful. Every one of us has a line at which we can just do things naturally. Mine might be cooking, mine might be pitching softball, somebody's singing, somebody's whatever it is. But you can only do so much with your natural abilities. In order to move from entrepreneurial to purposeful, you have to be just that, very, very purposeful. I have a story of a woman in North Carolina. Her name was Mary Sitton. She's still an agent there. And every year she would do about 20 transactions. That was about what she could do. She could not seem to break it. She get to 22, but she could not break it. Well, I was her coach at the time. I was a team leader in North Carolina. And Mary and I sat down and I said, you have got to leverage. You have got to get rid of the 80% of the junk that you're doing that's causing you to not take more listings and not close more sales. So Mary went out and hired a 20-hour-a-week assistant. That next year she did 32 transactions. She took that thing to 40 hours, and Mary went from here to here and did 42 transactions that next year with a full-time assistant. That's going from entrepreneurial to purposeful. Do you think the extra 20 transactions at, let's say it was $6,000, so do you think she paid her admin that much money? she doubled her income, literally doubled her income by hiring someone. That's going from entrepreneurial to purposeful, doing things on purpose. Okay, how about making learning-based the foundation of your action plan? Can I get somebody, Holly, do you mind reading the step 4?
Yep. Training and education are a big part of moving forward to attain your goals and succeed at a high level. Learning-based individuals commit to the process of acquiring skill-based habits.
Absolutely. So an individual who's made the decision to use effective learning as the foundation piece. This, I never need to spend much time on this, because you're here. If you're here or you're watching, then you've made it purposeful. Then you understand the value of education. Most of you joined this company because you believe in education. So the big caveat to that is that never stops. I leave Saturday morning to fly at my expense to a class that cost me $1,000 to take, called Advanced Coaching Skills Camp. I have to pay for my flight to Colorado Springs. I have to spend 3 days in a hotel in Colorado Springs, plus my food, plus my $1,000 entrance fee. And I've been in the business 25 years. Do you think I know I'm going to learn something if I've spent thousands of dollars to do it? That I am. Because education never stops. And if it does, you stop growing. So I recommend you don't let that happen. And then the last one, can we get you to read the high achievers about removing your limiting beliefs? Page, I don't know which page it is. 12.
In order to successfully develop at a higher level, you will need to clear your mind of limiting beliefs first. For example, are any of these thoughts in your head? I have to be an expert and know everything before I can begin my business. I'm not valid. I don't think I can achieve a profit goal that will fund my life this year. Because I'm in the business will come to me naturally. I don't need to devote 3 hours each day to the gym.
This is probably the thing that this class focuses on more than anything else. Get rid of those drunk monkeys. We have a class called Bold, which is coming soon, high intensity, 7-week to all day training class, and we talk in it about drunk monkeys. Every one of us has a drunk monkey sitting on her shoulder that says, oh no, you don't call them because you don't know enough about real estate. What if they want to buy a house? Don't call them because they might hang up on you. Don't call. Get rid of those people. Get them out of there. Stop with the limiting beliefs. You are capable. You can do this, and you will succeed if you're willing to do the work to make it happen. So remove those limiting beliefs. I'm going to check because my book, this is a little bit older book, I think. Okay, you do have. I want to make sure you have the same thing I have upon. How would you redirect these negative thoughts into positive ones, into unlimiting beliefs? So, I need to be a professional. So on the first one, I have to be an expert and know everything before I can begin my business. On that line, I want you to write, how could you overcome that objection in your head? Does that make sense? If you say, I have to be an expert and know everything before I can begin my business, I'm not valid, what can you say to yourself to teach yourself that that is not a true statement? The second one, I can't be successful yet. I need to invest a lot of money to kickstart my real estate career. Oh, is that, you've got a different question now?
Yeah.
Heather, we'll need to update this. The teacher's manual is the older version. I just noticed it. It wasn't the older version the last time I taught this class, I don't think so. So it's updated a little bit. So you're,
Okay.
oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, the page numbers will be fine once you have the book. But so the next question, oh, it's cut off. Oh, yeah. So the next question is, I don't think I can achieve a profit goal that will fund my life this year. So is that what you all have? Everybody have that?
No.
How come we have a different one?
Oh, you have what you
Who has that? You have that one? Okay, you have the profit goal one. I have I can't be successful yet, I'll need to invest a lot of money. So answer that question. Whichever question you have, answer that. How do you talk yourself out of thinking that? Yes, we'll have a break of about 15, 20 minutes. Thank you for asking. I usually tell people that in the beginning, I didn't. And then the last one is because I'm in the business, business will come to me naturally. I don't need to devote 3 hours to lead generation. So question one, I have to be an expert. What are you going to tell yourself? There's some fake it till you make it in the room, that's okay, yep. What else?
We have a lot of resources here.
Absolutely, yep. Tons of resources.
Take a few hours to educate yourself more so you're more informed.
Yep, education, absolutely. Anything else? You need to be a professional, not an expert. You need to be a professional, not an expert. Expertise comes from doing. This training will prepare you for success in real estate because you're going to learn a lot of those proactive, I need to be a professional. Even after 25 years, there's many a times I'll say, I actually don't know the answer to that, but I have a wealth of people that do. I'm going to get you that information and get back to you. That is way more professional than faking it or making up a thing or saying, I don't know. So use that. I have a wealth of professionals in my company that will know all the answers to these questions. Do you mind if I get back to you on this? Or I'm going to check in with the listing agent. Or, I'm going to be in an appointment for a little bit. Can I get back to you in 30 minutes? Your appointment is to go find the answers. You may not have an appointment, but your appointment is to go find the answers, and that's okay. How about the second question? How about the one that I can't be successful yet, I need to invest a lot of money? Well, let's answer that one.
We don't have that.
What's that?
We don't have that.
I know you don't. Some people do. Some people do.
Yeah, I do. Oh, no, I don't think I can achieve, well, it's kind of the same. I can't achieve a profit goal that will fund my life this year.
Right. Yeah, and that's it too. The one, my question where it says I can't be successful yet, lead generation doesn't cost money. You all have a cell phone. You can door knock and you don't even have to have a cell phone. Yeah, you got a business card. It's $25 for 500. So, it doesn't cost a lot of money. Funding a profit goal that will make your pay you enough money to be a full-time realtor. If you simply set those goals and figure out what actual activities you have to take to get to that goal, you will fund your life. I have a guy on my team that in his second year in real estate made enough money that he paid off $250,000 mortgage and bought a brand new truck in 1 year. Second year in the business. Yeah, and he's in Auburn. He doesn't even have a good price point. He's not in Yarmouth. It's like, it's crazy. So don't think you can't do that stuff, because you absolutely can. But you have to be ready, willing, and able to focus on it and make it happen. One of the things that the CGI calculator that Joe will do with all of you, or if you're on a team, we do it with our team. It's called the CGI calculator. It's for a career growth initiative. And basically it says how much money I want to make, here's how much I'm going to pay in taxes, here's my split with the company, here's my split with the team if you're on a team, and here's how much my bottom line is, here's how many houses I have to list and how many I have to sell. Once you know how many you have to list and how many you have to close, now we can walk further with you, and we can help you figure out how many people you have to talk to so you can get enough appointments, so those appointments will lead to listings, which will lead to closing, and therefore get you the amount of money you need. So, you absolutely can do it, but you gotta focus on it. You gotta make it happen. It isn't gonna happen because you got a license. It's gonna happen because you do the activities to get to that place. So, all right, and then the very last thing, being accountable. Accountability is first and foremost an attitude and an approach to your entire life. You need to own it. You need to own the responsibility, and you need to be willing to have someone to be accountable to. Joe here, for you guys, most of you, unless again you're on a team, Joe is your accountability partner. He and Charlotte will be holding your feet to the fire. In this class, we're going to challenge you with certain things to do between each class. You're going to come here and they're going to ask you, how many notes did you write? How many calls did you make? How many people did you talk to? You're going to there's accountability within this class. We're going to pair you up and get you accountability partners so that you're talking to each other during the course of a week saying, did you make your calls? How'd it go? Did you have any, you're going to have accountability partners. No one can hold themselves accountable like someone else can hold you accountable. I don't care how, even Tiger Woods has a coach. So, yes.
Quick question off to the side. For doing the note cards and that sort of thing, do you recommend we do like personal stationery or just general?
Good question. Good question. For note cards, I don't care what you send as long as you send it. I personally tell people in this class, and I'm going to charge you to do this between now and Wednesday, go to the dollar store and buy a $1 pack of some kind of card that if you can't find anything but kittens and flowers, or then get a dogs and a cats and send the dogs to the guys and the cats to the girls, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. Get blank notes. They don't have to be big or fancy. If you can find something with a house or a window or a scenery or something, well, that's kind of nice because it looks like real estate. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you get them and you write them, because that's everything. I just closed 2 properties on Saturday because the mortgage person messed up and couldn't get them closed on Friday. This morning, the first thing I did is wrote handwritten notes to those 2 title companies to thank them profusely for supporting my people and doing that. So those notes can be to lots of people. They can be to somebody you talked to, somebody you ran into, somebody you haven't seen in a while, somebody you know is having a baby, somebody that just broke their leg. It doesn't matter what the purpose of them. How many of you have received a handwritten note in the last 30 days? So, yeah. So it's nice. They're nice. They actually matter. It's not something that's stamped with it's got a stamp on it. So, okay. So getting the most out of this experience, we're doing really well with this already. Does that come in your book here? I'm gonna just kind of help. Yep, it is. It's the next page. Okay. Getting the most out of this experience. There's 3 ways you can learn, and Kel Williams has really defined this nicely in this little chart. You can be a prisoner. The prisoner is somebody told you have to go to this class. None of you are here because someone told you had to go to this class. The vacationer says, hey, a day in the classroom is better than a day at the office. None of you are here for that reason. And the last piece is the explorer. The explorer listens attentively and participates. You're all doing a great job on that. You ask meaningful questions and contribute. You arrive to class on time and return promptly from breaks. Adopts a posture of acceptance. Takes notes in your manual or wherever on your phone for future. And respects the different learning styles. Go to every class as an explorer. I don't care if it's a free class or it's a paid class or it's me taking $1,000. You think I'm going all the way to Colorado Springs without being an explorer? Honey, I am the great dive explorer when I go out there, because the people in that room are better than me. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So if I can extract just a little piece from everybody. There was a poem that I used to love years and years ago. It was by Larry Schneggs, and the last line said, a part of you will always be me, and a part of me will always be you. That much is certain no matter what happens. every person you interact with in your life can, may, and will change your trajectory. Change how you see something just a little. Sometimes it's you decide that you don't want to be that kind of person. It's not always positive, but every person you interact with makes a difference. So, same in this class. Every time somebody shares something, somebody else learns. So let's stay in that explorer mode through the entire session of Ignite. We've already talked about missions. Your missions are in kwconnect.com. Then you search for Ignite in the top, and you go to the student resources, and then you mission 1, mission 2, mission 3. Each one of those missions has videos for you to watch. They're little black triangles. So make sure that you do that. Session 6 is usually taught by Ann Chinquette, and nobody ever watches her video. So if you could please make it a point to watch the video for Ann Chinquette's session, because every time she says you didn't tell them they didn't watch my video, but by session 6 you get busy and you forget. Don't forget. Watch them every time. And then say, Janice told us we did to watch it. Then I get some brownie point. Expectations, we talked about that in the very beginning. Ground rules, you're all doing great with that. We are going to have a break in about 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to move on over to know your big why and your monetary goals. We're going to just keep right on flipping a couple pages. We're going to skip that one. And it's on page 22 in this manual. Let's see if it's in 22 and everything. So I do this here right before break because I think this takes some real reflection, quiet reflection time, and I think that it's important that no one feels rushed on this piece. The monetary goals we're not going to worry about because you are going to do those in a one-on-one session or in a group session with Joe on the CGI calculator. If you haven't already done that, because some of you are like days in, if you haven't already done that, talk to Joe about it and say, hey, can we do the CGI calculator? Because it's a simple calculator in the Keller Williams system that you can plug and play, and it will tell you all that information. I prefer you did it with Joe or Shar because I want to make sure you plug in the right numbers. If you don't plug in the right percentages and stuff, you're skewed. It'll be skewed on how the end result comes out. So CGI calculator, make sure you go back to the coaches and say, hey, can we do this? Because that's how you're going to know how many people I have to talk to make this work. So what we're going to work on now for the next 10 minutes, and then we're going to take a break, is your big why. Your big why is the reason that you do what you do. Anyone can achieve goals set in this course, but not everyone will. The journey requires discipline and a commitment to follow models, systems, and a schedule every day. It requires passion towards something bigger than the task at hand. Your big why. First, you're going to build a big why around your passion, and then you're going to follow the models. So when you turn over to the next to page, I don't know what page it is, turn one more page, and there's a thing that says your big why. I want you to take some time, and I want you to read these questions, and I want you to seriously think and put down your bullet points about those 4 questions. My big why, when I started in this business at however old I was, it was a long time ago. My big why then was my kids. I started in this business when Kyle was 18 months and Shannon was 3. So they were, 3 or 4. So they were little. So my big why was creating a life for them that was so big and so powerful and so open and full of possibilities. I wanted them to think big. I wanted them to see everything from the tiniest flower to the birthing of a lamb. I wanted my kids to be full of experiences. And so in the real estate world, that allowed me to be part of their experiences because it allowed me to go to I never missed, Shannon did more music performances than you can imagine. And my son was an athlete, a hockey player in Canada, isn't everyone? And a soccer player and a lacrosse player. So I had to have a career that I could work around that. Well, they were my why. I knew that if I was really disciplined for these hours of the day, I could go to soccer practice and not have to worry about it. So that was my big why. Well, now, 26 years later, and my kids are both happy and successful and doing their thing, my big why has changed a lot. And I get a little sappy when I talk about it now because it's not kind of normal. I mean, most people want, their big why is a lake house or to be on a river or to buy a pontoon boat. My big why, and again, you can believe me or not, is you guys. I want to get up every single day and change somebody's life. I want to make a difference every day somehow. I spent 9 hours yesterday cooking for 2 of our agents in this office who have life-threatening things in their world. I didn't do it because I wanted to tell you. I don't care if anybody knows I did it. I did it because it really fills my soul. That's what a big why is. What fills your soul? What's going to make you sit there for that extra 2 hours when you've done an hour of calling and nobody's picked up the phone? What's going to make you sit there? I used to have a picture of my kids in front of me when I was new in the business and they were little. And if I wasn't willing to do it, I had to say, okay guys, I'm going to quit now because I don't love you enough to finish. Yeah. So what is it that's really going to take your mindset to a place where quitting isn't an option? Why are you going to get up every morning to do real estate? I want you to answer those questions, think about your big why, and at the end of session 12, you're going to go through, and I don't know that Tammy will be able to teach it. She does an amazing, Tammy Goodrich is one of our amazing mega agents whose husband, who I cooked for yesterday because her husband had a terrible, terrible tragic accident and broke many of the bones in his body, and he's okay. He's okay. It's a miracle that he's alive. Tore his aorta. I mean, it was on the news. Anyway, so she normally teaches that class, and she has people in tears by the time she's done because she's so good at that big Y class, that last class. So yours will morph. Oh, you won't know what exactly your big Y is maybe today, but I want you to really start thinking about it. Okay? Answer those questions. Think about it. back at it at 10 o'clock. So if you're not done, feel free to sit there and write. And if you are, feel free to go and stretch your legs, into your phone, use the ladies' men's room.
Did you want to, is that what we do when we come back? The second part of the big line? Or did you want to?
Yeah. As much of that, of those 2 pages as you can get done. That's great. It definitely, the big lie is definitely an ongoing, it morphs over time. And, you know, it will become very clear at some point, but it may not be clear today. So, our next door, Heather, do you want to pause the recording, or do you just let everybody look at us? Well,
Let everybody
I don't care.
look,
I mean, it's
because
no big deal. I'll be right
then I
back.
have to restart a new.
Okay, good. I'll be right back.
Yeah. If everybody wants to grab, in the back table, I have a mission page and a calendar page. If you want to grab one of each of those, that has some information on it that will really be helpful to you for the rest of the class. Thank you. I have a friend who went through terrible cancer treatment, and she's an artist. She teaches art. She taught art camp I sent to her class. Dark nice, but anyway, while she was down in one of the Carolinas getting treatment, she did all kinds of glasswork, and I happened to have a broken leg and was stuck in bed at the time. And so every day I would scroll through anything that she just taken out of the kiln, and I spent a lot of money recovering. I'll tell you. But yeah, it was great. I got these, and I got some others that, and I've gifted a lot of them, but my favorite pair I lost for years too. Well, I'm going to. It's a little too big for me. I wear big rings all the way. I love big bracelets too, big giant bracelets. Some special name.
I didn't see that.
See, and I had these cute fashion earrings, like a whole box of them. Someone's like, yeah. I inherited my aunt's jewelry, and she went through a very long cancer too. Her husband, they got married a month before she passed. At their accountant's request, because they've been living together for years and years and years. He didn't want to be called uncle, so I refer to him as my aunt's husband. Okay. But anyway, he was like, you were like her child. I want you to have her jewelry and her scarves. Anything in her jewelry, I don't want you to have. And I didn't want to feel too picky. I'd have taken all of it if I didn't have those scruples. I wish I had now. Because they're not picky. Well, no, yeah, but it would have warmed his heart. At the time, I didn't understand it, and it was just too soon for me. Right. And so I took the pieces that just really said to me. And that's what this is. Oh. And I have a lot of favorite special earrings, could you get either reposted or replated?
I probably could.
If
I
they
don't know
would
if
have to
they'll
be valuable
I was gonna
enough.
say, I don't know.
But if they were, as I said, they're real special ones.
Right. I'd have to look through. I think I know where my observations.
Special jewelry, and my daughter was looking for a box, and she said, "Can I use this box?" I said, "That has my good jewelry in it. Just make sure you put them in another safe box."
You mean the box that you put them all in?
Any of the jewelry that was in that box. When I asked her about it, she goes, "I don't remember if there was any more." The setting was really beautiful. It was this intricate filigree setting, you know how they used to do. And the timing was gorgeous. I'm not the kind of person, but it was gorgeous. When we were dating, he kept alluding to he wanted to be able to give me a diamond, and I kept saying, I even designed it. Not knowing that he already had this diamond. So when I was getting to me, I felt really bad about saying I don't like thick diamonds.
That's funny.
But he doesn't know that the reason I don't wear it is because I was afraid I was going to lose it. That caused me to lose it.
Well, that's why this only comes off. Oh, yesterday I just took it off the other day because I was reading on realtors about it. Sometimes I get where I start on it a little bit. And they said wearing wedding band on it, wedding band, everything would look good. Attached to someone kind of extends that or
Some people don't get that attitude.
that's probably true. So I did take it off the other day and I put on this one, but I hit my hand. It's a little looser. Just my fingers, I'm just kind of just looking for it.
Yeah. That's
And
common.
it moved. It's not one of them. Okay. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, like somebody else is doing my finger.
And I had originally this ring had only fit on my finger. It's just beautiful. And I said, I don't want to send out the wrong signal. So I didn't have it resized for this finger. I had it resized for this finger. And I said, why is it only one he had it on the wrong finger? So nobody can, because this was actually my great aunt's wedding. Her 6 months she got the first never ever here. But my fingers hurt. Yeah. And I mean, I could jam it on me right now if I wanted to, but at one point I was saying that it was kind of for the circulation. So then I did switch it.
So this was designed to never had it made. People are like, how can your wedding ring have a little dip in it? That's what I said on my engagement ring that I don't wear.
Right.
Just gotta make sure.
Right. No, and I had thought that I could get one of those, I just haven't figured out.
Oh, you do?
One guy I had, the little metal ball and
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
because that was.
I did. I don't- this is when I
Yeah. I gotta figure it out.
It is beautiful.
Still the same page. I just want to make sure I can do what page you're on. My pages are like anywhere from 3 to 5 pages behind them, and I'm set up like this, so I never know.
It doesn't come to a black point.
We're gonna, they're coming out with a whole new night, so they're because they're gonna have a whole new night, so, yeah. It's, definitely one of those that you're, you know, you want everybody to be in sync, and like I said, I don't care, I just pull the flow, I'll do it, what do you got? Okay, let's go with that, you know, I don't care. Some teachers spend like, really, you know, depending on the personality. So, I'm a high I with a D, I do things, I do it quick, and I do it fun, and if it doesn't work, oh well, let's do the next thing, you know, I just don't worry about it. Not everybody's that way, so we will try to make it as, be patient with us, because they are writing a new Ignite, so, you know, we only want to do so much to go with the old thing.
It's kind of the same, but it's similar.
It's very
It's just
similar.
reworded.
Yeah. When they roll out the next Ignite, there'll be a lot of changes, because there's no command, really much command in here, and there'll be some, this one class probably won't change that much, but some of the other classes will change a lot, because they'll talk about video listing presentations, and they'll talk about things that now we focus on paper listing, and really, knowing what to say on a listing presentation is way more important than what's in front of the person, but so learning the scripts around listing presentations and stuff is way more important than anything else. So that won't change. It'll just be how you present the material, that kind of thing.
So command is just, it has all your information on it.
I'll explain it. All right, so let's get going. I did have a question just now about command, and so I want to give you a 2-second advertising / overview of what command is. KW Command is Keller Williams' new technology platform. There's 2 things you need to know: KW Command, and you need to know Kelly. Kelly is like the remote control, the AI, the artificial intelligence that feeds command. So when you hear someone talking about Kelly, how many of you have Kelly downloaded? Okay, if you don't, you need to go to your app store, you need to type in K-E-L-L-E, and you need to download Kelly. You log into Kelly with your KW username and password. Yeah, you don't have to do it right this minute. But go to the app store and download Kelly, K-E-L-L-E. Kelly it's a green, it'll be about the color of your sweater, kind of a green color. Kelly is, what's that?
It's an aqua.
Aqua, okay. It's aqua green. It's between my cup and her sweater. Yeah, somewhere in there. So get Kelly on your phone. So command, KW Command is taking everything that we need to run a real estate business and putting it in one place. There are agents in Keller Williams that are going to save $130,000 to $150,000 next year because they no longer need to have Follow-Up Boss and Top Producer and Boomtown and a Sync and all these platforms that teams and any individuals pay thousands of dollars a year for are now going to be owned and run by Keller Williams. Keller Williams got sick and tired of using what they call add-on or clip-on technology, where they had the platform, but they had to allow, we'll say Top Producer. They had to give Top Producer permission, so they couldn't own the data that Top Producer controlled because it was Top Producer's data. Keller Williams is committed to protecting our data. Everything in this world, in the real estate world, is about data. And data means the names and addresses of your clients, the names and addresses of your sales, of the POS, the name. Data is our websites. Data is everything that we are. And so Command is a platform, a program that is going to encompass all of those things. You're going to keep your contacts in it. You're going to have your schedule in it. You're going to do your financials in it. There's not much you're not going to do in Command. If you're not going to tech triage every day at 2 o'clock, right, Heather? Every day at 2 o'clock? Tech triage up in the...
Not today.
Not today. Tech triage most every day. Up in the agent lounge outside of the PC room. Every day for an hour, Heather or David or someone else who knows a lot about technology is there to help you figure it out, help you get started. If you have not put all of your contacts into Command, do it today. Not tomorrow, today. Get it done. Because it can't work. It's like if you don't put contacts in Command, then your motorcycle has no gas. Because it's what's going to help you run your business through Command. So question.
Contacts, is it my personal contacts?
Yes. It's
So
everybody you know. Everybody you know. Everybody. And that's your lawnmower guy. And you're in the next class, or the next 2 classes, you're going to have lots of conversations about databases and who they are and where they should come from. If you were a graphic designer and you have 200 clients over the last 20 years in graphic design, oh baby, those are in your your family, your friends, your neighbors, your church, your school. Really, hockey was the greatest thing I ever did for my career. You know, all my great hockey people. So your database is wide, wide and varied. Yes, Heather.
Write this down. Scott Leroy, support at scottleroymarketing.com. Leroy. If you give him, send them a email, and they can import all your contacts from your phone for you into your command, and any other spreadsheet that you have, they can convert to the downloadable spreadsheet and put it into command for you.
So even like a Christmas list or something?
A Christmas list, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Yep.
If you send out as many cards as I do.
Yeah.
Yep, and so just know that that's one of your biggest charges right now in this business is it's hard. If the more people you have in your database, the more people you have to call every day. The more people you have to call every day, the more leads you think. Which moves us right on to the lead generation funnel on page 33. Page 33 is going to talk about. Oops, I know that was supposed to be. But there's no longer a slide for lead generation, so that's okay. We're going to talk about it anyway. So, lead generation funnel. This picture should be cemented in your mind forevermore, because this is what you need to fill this funnel in order to have a successful real estate business. You'll see on the very top is the leads. What is a lead? Who can tell me what a lead is? That's a contact. That's a contact. There's a difference. There's contacts and leads. What's a lead?
Someone you met at Starbucks who said, "Oh, I'm looking to buy in the Portland area."
Absolutely. A lead is someone that you know has an interest in buying or selling real estate. Hopefully with you. But a lead might be, and then there's a contact, which is everyone you know and all the people you met at Starbucks. You might be in Starbucks, you meet 3 people, and only one of them is a lead, but all 3 of them are contacts. So leads are opportunities to meet people to do real estate. People who just even had a question. One of the things I used to do, and where I got some of my best leads in my early days, you'd go into Applebee's and somebody'd be sitting there looking at those those glossy real estate books. And I would run over small children to sit next to that person. I would do anything it took to get close enough to that person to say, "Oh, I love that book. Don't you love that?" Well, I have to because I'm a realtor. And that's all you have to say. The minute you say that word, bing, their realtor radar goes up, and they'll say, "Oh, I want to buy a house," or "My son's looking for a house." "Oh, you're a realtor?" That's all you have to say. It's simple. Every time I get my nails done, we talk about real estate. Everything in my world. If you sit next to me on an airplane, you will get my Keller Williams mobile app. You will.
Can I just
Yes.
have one more?
Yes.
My cardiologist, at the end of when I was seeing him all the time, we would just talk real estate when I went in for my checkup instead of worrying about what was going on with my heart. Because he looked forward to that real estate conversation.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I've been going to the same massage therapist for a year, and he's finally ready to buy a house. We signed a buyer agency on Friday. So those are leads. When you have enough leads, you naturally are going to get appointments from them. So we met the guy in Starbucks who said, "Yeah, I'm interested in buying a house in Portland." That's the lead. And now he says, "Super, can we get together on Friday? I'd love to talk to you about real estate, get you set up on a search. We'll talk about how this works, and let's get going." When you get to an appointment, now you're this much closer to getting a closing and a paycheck, because that's what this is all about, and changing lives. So now you've set that appointment. In command, the cool thing about it is when you meet that person, you put them in a place that it's called an opportunity, because that guy's an opportunity. So you put that guy in there because he's an opportunity, and you move him through the process. When you get an appointment, he goes to a new place in the process. So you have an appointment, now he sees a house that he loves, and you write a contract. Now you're getting really close to the money. because now you have an agreement or a contract. Once that, again, in command, one of the cool things about command is it will move, when you move the people along from cultivate, when you first met them, to appointments, where I'm going on an appointment, to under contract, the percentage chance of you getting a payday gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So it literally calculates, if he buys a house at $250 with a 3% commission, you're gonna make $7,500. You know, the gross commission is, and it literally calculates that by a percentage of, okay, when it gets to under contract, now you got like a 90% chance of getting that money. And so it moves it along, and you can track how much money you have in your pipeline, which is really cool. Again, pipeline is another word you'll hear. Pipeline just means stuff that's in the works. People that you have that have had some level of lead contact. That's your pipeline. And then the last piece is contracts, and of course contracts come out to paydays. Any question about this? Your job right now is to fill as many leads, to go and make those calls and get those leads. And again, they can come from anywhere. Another story, when I used to be in sales prior, if I went into a grocery store and I saw somebody with boxes in their cart, I would congratulate them because I said, "Oh, you must have sold your house." And 9 times out of 10 they'd say, no, actually my landlord's selling the house and I gotta move. Oh, your landlord's selling the house? Wow. Well, that's can always be challenging. So, hey, do you know if he's listed it yet? Well, no, he hasn't listed it yet, but he said he's gonna next week. And I said, oh, great. You know, one of the things that would be really helpful for you and for me is if you could make an introduction or at least share his information. Because you see, if I list the property, I'm gonna make it really easy on you as a tenant. I'm gonna take good care of you as well as taking good care of the house. So if you don't mind, if I could have his information, I'll reach out to him and see if I can't take that listing. I got more listings by finding people that were taking boxes out of stores, in grocery stores, because they were moving or they were packing, or because people pack before they put their house on the market. So, opportunities, they're everywhere. Okay, let's move on to the next page. 4 powerful habits. These are the habits that we are going to be tracking over the course of this course. Adding 10 new contacts to your database every day. If you dump 200 in with Scott Leroy today, that's not 20 days worth. That's your initial dump. Then you're going to get 10 more on all the next days. So 10 new contacts into your database every day. They can come from anywhere. We don't care where. You can make cold calls, and everybody that answers the phone, now you've had a conversation, they can be a contact. We don't care. Speak to 10. Yep, go ahead.
When you say in the database, what are we looking for? Are we looking for a phone number, email, and a mailing address?
Absolutely ideal. Perfect.
That's ideal.
If you, especially in command, with command it's even more important than it ever was, because in command, when you have their address, you can set them up on a really cool neighborhood snapshot that tells them it's updated instantly, and it's an interactive thing on their app where they can see when a house comes on the market in their neighborhood. So there's some really cool things that you can do if you have their address. So do get their mailing. Plus, the next thing is write 10 handwritten notes. So if you have a conversation with somebody, you can multi-do this. You can call people. So that's a contact. You can put them in your database, and you can write them a note. You just knocked 3 things off your list with one person. So let's say your daughter's kindergarten teacher, you haven't talked to her for 4 years because your daughter's in 3rd grade now or 4th grade now, and you go, oh my God, I loved Kathy Smith. I'm going to call Kathy. So you pick up the phone tonight, you call Kathy Smith and say, this is Sarah's mother, blah, blah, blah. I just was reaching out because I was thinking of you today and how influential you were in my daughter's life. I just recently got a real estate license where I want to influence people the same way you influence my daughter. And I just want to reach out and say hi, thank you, and perhaps get your information so that if down the road I came up with some relevant real estate information, or if you had a need in real estate, you could reach out to me, because I'd love to earn the right to do for you what you did for my daughter. Bam. Now, the scary part is I just wrote that script coming out of my head. That's not one of those written ones. That's one of those 25 years of it comes in your head, it comes out your mouth, you just get really good at it. But that was a good one. I should have written it. Take that one. Because that, if someone made a difference to someone in your life, well, how? Make a gratitude call. And then you add them to your database. And then you write a note to say, it was so great to talk to you today on the phone. I cannot thank you enough for the thing. And maybe you include a little picture of your daughter who's now in 4th grade. You know, yes.
So I'm originally from Massachusetts.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Yeah, me too. Bethel.
A lot of my contacts are down there, and so I didn't necessarily put them into command because, I mean, I guess there's a slim chance they could buy real estate in Maine, but
Let's think big. Do they buy and sell houses in Massachusetts? Could you be their real estate resource for Massachusetts by helping them find a great agent that you interview to make sure that when they sell their house, not only is that realtor accountable to them, but they're accountable to you too?
yes.
Is Keller Williams in every state in the United States and in 29 countries around the world? Yes. So everyone goes in your database. It's okay that they're at Mass. One of my biggest faults in my early years was not letting my family know enough. And my sisters bought and sold houses. My sisters and I are like close. They bought and sold houses and didn't tell me, put it on the market, and they went, oh yeah, we're selling our house. I'm like, really? You know, because I did a lousy job of educating them. So get them on those drip campaigns. Help them know what you do. Because every person in America knows 5 to 6 people who are going to buy or sell a house next year. Everybody. That's the statistic. 5 to 6 people. Everybody knows 5 to 6 people are going to sell a house. Do you want a little piece of 5 to 6 people? I do.
Yeah, I just was concerned because in terms of, I have such limited time, you know, I'm kind of working double shifts,
Yeah.
that I would rather focus my energy on Maine-based.
Then tag them that way. Put tags in there that say Maine and Massachusetts. Make 2 tags.
Okay.
So that their friend Massachusetts or their past client Massachusetts or their relative, you can add multiple custom tags to your command.
Mm-hmm.
So then at any time you can pull up only the Maine people and call the Maine people.
Okay.
But the Massachusetts people are getting the emails to show your monthly newsletter, for example, that's generated out of command, pretty much simply. You know, they're on a smart plan, so they remind you to call them every quarter. So automate them because there is value. I mean, I've made thousands of dollars in my lifetime on referral fees with people from other
Yeah, I
places.
just wasn't sure where it was like the beginning of my career where most of my energy should be focused.
Yeah, I absolutely agree that most of your energy should be focused on the main. And I also think we have so many tools in command to keep in touch with those people. Let the command system keep in touch with them and prompt you every quarter to call them. You know, because if 5 people every week happen to be Massachusetts people, it's okay. You're still just touching a base. You're leaving a message on their voicemail to say, I was thinking about you today. I'm making real estate calls, generating business for my real estate company, and I just thought of you and I missed you and I wanted to say hi. You know, it can be anything as simple as that. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm just curious, in this day and age when people are kind of funny about giving out their personal information, is it best to try to get an email address if you feel like you're only going to get like one thing compared to ask them, hey, can I have your email, your phone number,
Well, and let's play that a little, okay? I'm calling you, ring ring. Answer the phone.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you for answering the phone. Hey, Ellen, thanks for answering the phone. Now, this is Janice. My daughter was in your class when you were teaching back 3 years ago in 3rd grade, or she was in your 3rd grade class, however our relationship is. And I was reaching out today because you made such a difference in her life when she was in your classroom that one of the things I do now is I change lives every day because I'm a realtor. You made such an impact on her that I knew the kind of people that you know would be the kind of people that I want to help every day. So So I called to see if you knew of anybody in your world that was looking at buying or selling a property. Is there anybody that you know?
I don't have anybody that comes to mind right now.
Okay, great. No problem. I appreciate you taking the time to think about that. Do you mind if I go ahead and put your information in my database? Because one of the things I like to do is send an occasional note. I'd love to write a note to you to drop my business card. So if somebody does happen to want to sell, you would have my card handy. Do you mind if I have your mailing address?
My mailing address, yeah, that's fine. I don't
Okay.
really love to give out all my information.
Oh no, that's quite all right. I only want what you want to give me. It's just easier if I can drop you a note so that you have my business card. That way in the future, if you did run across somebody. So you used to live in Westbrook, didn't you?
Yes,
Okay, so you're still in Westbrook?
yes.
Great, great. What was the street address? Yeah.
210 Buzzell Road.
Okay, 210 Bells Road, great. 04092, right? Okay, super. So I have, this is your cell phone because I had this back from kindergarten days. It's still the right number, correct?
Yes.
And I think you, back when you were in kindergarten, we had a .edu email address. Is it jsmith@edu? Is that still your email address?
No, it's changed now. Now I'm at Yahoo.
Oh, okay, great. Oh, great, great. So is it like your first name, last name, Yahoo, or what would that be? Don't laugh. I would get all of the information because I would just keep going around the barn until she opened the door.
But you don't see that as pushy?
No, in a conversation, it depends a lot. Obviously, I'm trying to prove a point here as to not giving up. If there was an objection, no, I changed it to Yahoo. Another conversation, oh, that's great. Well, is it? I'd ask that, and if then she still pushed back, I'd say it's quite all right. You don't need to share that with me. It's just that sometimes when in this business we have an opportunity with the new Keller Williams technology to have these market snapshots that allow people to see all the information with a simple email. They can click anytime to go see live updated information about your neighborhood. And most people are interested in what's going on in their neighborhood from a real estate perspective. But unfortunately, without your email, I can't send you that link. Believe me, I am not going to spam you. I'm not going to, I'm not. Most people like relevant real estate information. If you don't want that, it's no problem. Don't worry
Just
about
offer them something without.
Yeah, that's what it sounds
Yeah.
like. It's like you're giving them something
Yeah.
instead of just
it. Yeah,
taking
that's
their-
why you're getting their address because you
Yeah.
want to send them a card.
Okay.
That's why you're getting,
Yep.
So, absolutely, you knew the cell phone was right because you had her on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
But I always say, that is this the best number sometimes, So, you will get really good at it. I mean, Chelsea, I'd love to have you here, Chelsea, in here. Chelsea has been 2.5 years in the business, maybe. And she will handle one objection and she'll handle another objection. And by the time she's done, I mean, she's going to dinner with them. I mean, it's just like, it's an art. You've got to not be afraid to practice that art. So who else is feeling like, oh no, that was way too pushy? It's okay, be honest. Yeah. And I get that. And
Bring them something.
get over it. Get over it. Your style is not going to be my style. I'm way more easy out there and blah, 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 blah. Your style may be different, but you're going to find out what's going to work. Because I'll tell you right now, it's going to take you 4 times as long if you go in 4 times to get 4 different pieces of information.
Yeah.
Who cares if you send a handwritten note? Even if now you say,
Guys, Christmas cards are coming.
yeah, send Thanksgiving cards.
Send
Thanksgiving
cards.
cards are great. I send Thanksgiving cards. And then I send happy end of the year thanks. Flew right out. Oh, the whole handwritten note thing. If they balk at the address, say, oh, it's quite all right. See, I'm in this class, and they charge me to write 10 handwritten notes every single day. And so I was hoping that you were going to be one of the people I was going to be able to write a note to, so I could get you my card. Blame it on somebody else. Well, I'm in this class, and we'll teach you a class script that basically says that. I'm in a class, I'm in a competition, and I need to connect with 10 people every day. So I just wanted to be able to say hi, let you know what I'm doing, and thank you again for taking care of my daughter at rec camp.
It's like telling Girl Scout.
What's that?
It's like selling Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah.
Trying to win the competition.
Yeah, that's right.
Another reason you can get their mailing address. I'm sending out Girl Scout cookies. Yours is in the mail. Just need your address.
All right. So those are the things we're going to ask you every day, every class. Did you add 10 new contacts? Did you talk to 10 people? And did you write 10 handwritten notes? The fourth thing is previewing 10 homes. I'm not sure what Joe's doing with the PC program and previewing homes. And no matter what he's doing, you guys as a group could say, hey, let's take one day and go see 4 houses. Most agents, especially now because it slowed down a little. This summer it was really hard. As fast as they got listed, they got sold, then we could see them. It was like, wow. Now it's slowed down a little bit. It's a little bit easier now. You say, okay, today's my day. I'm gonna find us 4 houses to preview. Next week it's your turn, and next week it's your turn, and take a turn and everybody find 4 houses to go look at. You set them up in showing time as a preview, and you all go preview them together. Why not? Each one of you knows something different about houses. You know, you probably know more about certain construction things than these might, because you've done some stuff, you know, or you might because you're just capable and you make your own moldings. I don't know. But what I do know is that each one of you has a special talent. And talk to Joe about it, because he may do some of that coordination too. We used to do a homes preview tour back when I did it, so I don't know exactly how he's doing that. So that's how previewing the houses. 10 a week is a little hard because the inventory is so rapid and there's so few listings that it's a little hard sometimes to do. But even if you could do 4 a week, I think it would be very beneficial to you to learn different things about, take pictures of things you don't know what they are and bring them back to somebody like me or Heather or Joe or Hashar or somebody so that you can have a much better understanding of that. Yes?
Should we wait till we have our business cards to start sending out our little handwritten notes?
Absolutely. No, you should not wait.
Okay.
Yes, it's nice to have them, but how long will it take for you to go to Staples and design them on Staples and go get 100?
Oh, okay. I thought.
Yeah, Staples.com, you can get 100 for about $12.
I was looking at Joe's. I was reading when I was looking at Joe's website little videos, and he had a place that he recommended.
Oh yeah.
That we
And I don't know like how quick his is, and I don't want to get in between that because he has done amazing things with his videos and all that stuff. What I'm saying is you could have business cards and be back here in an hour.
Yeah.
So just get yourself 100 at Staples for $12 if
don't
you're
worry
ready.
about the photo and all that.
I would make them. Yeah, you can
I
make
can do
them.
your headshots. I can do your. Seriously, I can do it right here on the side of the building one day. You guys need headshots. I can do them right in the brick building.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I did my own. My
Should we
friend
get
was
our
going to
hair
do it, but I was busy. So I'm like, let's see if I can do this. I did my own, but I can.
Well, and thank you. That's what this is about. Thank you. And don't wait for a headshot to get a few business cards because it doesn't really matter. Bring them on Wednesday and do it. That's beautiful. If it's not a nice day, we'll find another place.
I'll bring my camera, so if you decide you want to do it, we can do it after.
Beautiful. Great. Thank you. And I want to tell you a quick little story about that. I have a story for everything. When I first came to Maine to get licensed, first of all, I was 296 pounds, so I looked kind of like an elephant on toothpicks at that point. I was like this big round lady. And I needed a picture. So I stood in front of my friend's post and rail fence. She used my Sony Mavica digital camera, the kind you had to put a diskette in. They were little plastic things you had to stick. I'm kidding. And so you had to put this 3.5-inch floppy inside this camera to take pictures. That picture went on Realtor.com and all these places, and I got a call from a lady who was the CEO of Bank One because she saw my picture online and she thought I would be easy and fun and friendly, so she wanted to work with me. Over the next 4 months, I made $69,000 from that one person. $69,000 with my round little body, with my size 26 purple jacket, standing in front of a fence, taken on Cumberland Commons with a Sony Mavica camera. So don't stress over it. Be who you are. Be natural. Be real.
Be the best version of yourself.
Be the best version of yourself. Exactly. The version that you want portrayed out there. you know? People, that's another conversation for another time, is how do you carry yourself? How do you present yourself? Don't try to be something that somebody else is. Be you, and embrace it, and love it, and, you know, it worked for me, so, all right. And you know, I didn't have a whole lot to work with back then, so. All right, so move on, 4 powerful habits, success tracking. There is a very cool tracker. Oh, something updated. Whoopsie, that's okay. There is a very cool tracker. If you do that same thing and you go to Ignite again, and it's kwcommand.com, kwcommand.com, and you type in Ignite, and you scroll down here to Ignite, and you hit course materials. Down here is my tracker. You can bookmark this tracker by clicking this little thing and bookmark your tracker. Oops, it didn't do very good. Hold on. It said it was going to take me to my tracker. Heather, do you know if they've changed the tracker at all?
No, I don't believe they have.
Okay, let's try it one more time.
If you just type in Ignite, I know the.
Yeah, I did, and I went to here, and I went to course materials, and I went here to my tracker,
There was also.
and it took me back, so.
What about lead generation too?
What's that?
I have the same screen.
You have the same thing, yeah.
But
Yeah.
underneath course materials, I think there was that lead generation too.
Oh, yeah, there is one there
Maybe
too,
there's a
you're right,
tracker
you're right,
under
let's
that.
see if that takes us there. It's very possible that they are making changes to it, because.
I know that they're working on putting out a new version of Ignite, so they could have.
Oh, and by the way, when you get to this page and you scroll to the bottom, there's a whole bunch of cool additional stuff. 10 things every real estate agent should know. There's an Ignite toolkit that has all kinds of great stuff in it. The scripts thing is there if you want it in a PDF. But I do not see the tracker. So, that's interesting that that's not there. So, I am going to, oops, I'm going to do that now. I am going to give you guys at the end of this class an evaluation. I would really appreciate if you fill it out and submit it to me. I am in the process of getting to a much higher level of Keller Williams training, and we need X number of evaluations in order to move through the process, and I have never good at asking people to do that because I forget. So I saw evaluation and I'm like, I'm going to ask them. So she will give you an evaluation. You don't have to put your name on them. You can say anything you want. Just evaluate this class for me if you would. That would be great. All right, so now we're going to go back again. Okay. So the tracking piece, for the time being, just know that you got to do 10, 10, 10. 10 things, 10 talk to people, 10 data to your database, and 10 handwritten notes. Those are your 3 missions for this, moving forward for this class. Now we're going to move on to scripts. How many people, when you hear the word scripts, you're kind of like, take a deep breath and want to cover your head? There you go. Honesty, there we go. Anybody else have a little bit of a thing? Scripts are just a convenient and effective way to have a conversation. That's all they are. When somebody sneezes, what do you say? Yeah. You say bless you. That's a script. Something you learned when you were 2 years old and you've been saying it ever since. That's all it is. Back when I was first in real estate, like you guys, I took a thing called Floyd Whitman's Sweat Hogs. Floyd Whitman's Sweat Hogs was like our bold, but it was a non-denominational, so it was every company went to it. I drove an hour and a half every single Monday to Halifax, Nova Scotia to take Sweat Hogs. In Sweat Hogs, they gave us cassette tapes. Those were little things with stuff. So they gave us this book of cassette tapes, and weren't 8 tracks at least. So this book of cassette tapes, and every day on the way back, I'd pop that cassette tape in, and I'd listen to the scripts, and listen to the class, and listen to all these things. About 5 years later, now I've done 59, 72, 89 transactions the first 3 years, I came across my script, my cassette tapes, and I put it in the car, and I went, I say that. Oh man, I say that too. That's where I got that script from. And probably 70% of my real estate language came from those silly little cassette tapes that I wish I had today, because they really were good. And that's all a script is. The scripts as you read them today are going to feel very uncomfortable. Once again, get over it. Because you have to. At first, the way that scripts work effectively is first, you have to read them. Then you have to memorize them. Then you internalize them so they become yours. Now you can customize them. But until you've earned the right to customize them, you need to use them the way they are. Because it's more about the practice of being consistent than it is anything else. Shannon, we talked about her. She was 23 years old. She got her license. She had a 300 credit score. She couldn't have bought a house if her life depended on it. And yet they gave her a book and said, these are the scripts, and she can to this day outscript me. Because she just learned them. She was like, oh, I'm supposed to learn them? I'm just going to learn them. So she just completely learned the scripts. And if you do a lineup of scripts, she'll win every time. Because she just knows them. And they're agent scripts. She only used them for 2 years. She got them. So, and did $5 million her second year in Nashville where she didn't know anyone. So, don't get that, get the drunk monkey, the script monkey off your shoulder, because it really is important. Alright, so in the middle of the page, I don't know what page, oh, you might have this thing before. Yeah, one more over. Okay, so I'm going to play you a video about getting comfortable with scripts. I think. Oh, that. I am going to play it for you. Heather, where did we put that? That's all right. You just give me 2 seconds and I'll go find that video for this. Okay. So this is one of our AW videos about how to use scripts.
Hi, I'm Jeff Wood, and I'm going to tell you the top 5 things about using scripts. Step 1, you really need to use scripts from the top agent of your office, your team leader, a maths coach, or of course Keller Williams University. Step 2, we're going to need to do a total transformation of instead of talking and telling, of asking questions. Selling isn't telling, selling is asking a series of questions that leads to a desired response. So instead of talking so much, we need to get in the habit of asking questions. And asking questions gives us control of the conversation. Control of the conversation gives us our ultimate outcome, which is an appointment set or closing. Step 3, we need to listen with good intentions. Well, what I mean by that is we need to listen to their answers instead of just listening to them talk and asking another question that comes to mind. For example, instead of asking a seller where they're moving to and then going on to the next question, how soon would you like to be there, ask them where are you moving to, and when they give you a response, ask them what takes you there. Step 4 in becoming better at scripts is we need to learn to mimic, mirror, and match the prospect. What I mean by that is we have to listen to their tone of voice. We have to speed up or slow down based on how fast the prospect is talking. That means when they respond and say, we're moving to Toledo, oh, Toledo, that's exciting. What takes you there? 93% of communication is body language and tonality. And that means only 7% are the words that we say or the questions that we ask. Step 5, we need to take these 5 points and practice them daily. If you think of NFL teams, they practice 50, 60 hours on the practice field for a 1-hour game. Our game is our presentations and our appointments, and we need to practice daily. Everything that we've learned, every single day, before we meet with our clients. When it comes to scripts, my biggest aha is that everybody has their own scripts. We're pre-programmed to have scripts, and we're talking and asking questions that are scripted. However, what we found is that most of our own scripts are no good. And so we have to learn the right scripts, the right questions, to maintain control of the conversation. Thanks for watching KW Connect. Make it a great day.
If anybody else's lips weren't going with words.
It started off okay, and then it kind of got a little worse.
It was funny. They went quite up. Okay. So, tell me what you took away from that. What were your ahas about that? Oh, do you know what an aha is? I got to teach you all these lingos. All the lingos get learned in this class. Aha. An aha is something that when you heard him say something, you went, oh, aha. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. That's an aha. And you're going to get asked for ahas a lot of times over the course of this next 12 sessions. So, what was somebody's aha about that, what he said? Anything jump out at you? Yes, sorry.
The scripts were about asking questions.
Huge. This class that I just paid $1,000 for, that they teach us to ask questions. That's like you go all the way to Colorado to learn how to ask questions. That's what Coaching Skills Camp is about. Because we're coaching people the same way that I'm coaching you, that I was a coach when I was. At any level, coaching is the same. It's about finding out about the other person, not telling them about you, and not telling them about them. So, good job. Anything else one of my biggest ahas is always on that is the mirror and match. If you have, like I do, I think there's a scale of personalities. You've got like super crazy high outgoing nutso like me, and then you have the accountant type, and that's really high I's and high C's, and you'll learn that at some point. But when you have an extreme personality, like I do, I have to be really careful. Because when I go to a listing appointment, I can scare the pants off someone. Because I just talk really fast and I get so excited, I'm just so excited. If that guy's an engineer, he can't wait to get me out of his house. So it's, in a classroom, I can kind of get away with it, because if you're scared, well then you just kind of like sit back and it's not quite as bad. But in a one-on-one or a two-on-one situation, it is so important that I ask questions, I let them respond, and the way they respond is the way I ask the next question. Don't get me wrong, I can't hide this energy. It's just here. I wake up with it, I go to bed with it, it's here. So the energy stays in there, but I really have to step myself back on the mirror and match thing. So that's something that always resonates with me every single time I see that video. Is it kicks me in the head again and goes, mirror and match, Janice, stop yelling, stop talking so fast. So over on, I want to skip right over to the scripts page, and I got to try to figure out where that is, so give me a minute. On page 43, it talks about memorizing, internalizing. That's what I was saying is you first have to memorize these scripts. Then you internalize them by practicing them. Then you get to customize them. So if you keep going over to page 47, you have some scripts. The way these scripts are set up is that the first one says it's the new to real estate script. Sure, I have it here. I'll just follow one yours. So you have the new to real estate script. These scripts are set up so you're either using the new to real estate or the new to Keller Williams. One of those two is pretty much everyone in this class is one of those two things, or both in some cases. So I want you to read a couple of times through whichever one of number 1 or 2 that goes with you, and then I want you to read yourself through the rest of the script. We're then going to partner up. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. So we'll put the front rows together, those two together, and you two together. And I want you to practice this script a couple of times each person going through the whole thing. It's not going to feel comfortable. Again, get over it. It's okay. Practice it, say it, learn it, and get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Okay? So go through and go ahead and read. When you're done reading the rest, the new to real estate and the rest of the script, then look up and we'll partner up. and I want each one of you to do twice. I want you to go through the whole thing, from the new to real estate script right into the rest of the script. Just read it verbatim. You're not expecting you to know it, just read it. And one of you be the agent, one of you be the friend, and then back and forth, and do it a couple of times each. Go ahead, you got it back there, go ahead here.
So we're actually, the person who's the friend is actually responding.
Yeah, yes, absolutely respond. Don't make it hard on them, but respond, oh, that's great, or whatever, yeah. Don't make it nasty.
I'll start it off. Hello, this is Mom. Do you have a moment? I'd like to share the exciting news that I've become a real estate agent before really.
Yes.
And with my new partnership, have all their knowledge work together. Plus, all of my clients get all my enthusiasm and hard work. And I thought about sharing this with you because I knew you'd be someone to help me grow my business. First, I'd like to share my real estate app. You can see what's going on from any street to any place in the house. It's free, and it won't cost you anything. I can send you a text to send you the link. Does that sound good? I'd like to ask, who might you know from work, your neighborhood, or a group you belong to who's interested in buying or selling homes or investing in real estate? Can you think of anyone right now?
With this partnership, I can see all their knowledge.
Well, thanks for taking a moment to think about that. That is a wealth of interesting and timely information about the real estate market in the area, and I'd love to send it to you. Let me make sure I have your current email and your address. And do me a favor, if you hear of someone with a real estate need, would you keep me in mind? Great. And after you download the app and try it out, send me a text and let me know how you like it. Thank you for your time and help. Please let me know if there's anything I need to say.
I have a wellness and trusting time with all the knowledge of real estate. Very impressed with my clients and always enthusiasm. Let me make sure I have your current email and address. And do me a favor, please. If you hear of someone with a real estate need, do you keep me in mind? Hello, this is Janice. Great. I'd like to ask them to write out. Let me know how you should be. I'm with the
I did.
Thank you for your time. Please let me know what your business
Yeah, sure.
First, I'd like to share my real estate needs. You can see what's going on anywhere. It's from your street to any place in North America. It's free and there's no cost to you. I can send you a text so you can link to it. Does that sound good?
Hello.
Second, I'd like to ask, who might you know from work or your neighborhood or anyone who's interested in buying or selling a home or real estate? Do you have one right now?
I can't think of anyone.
I have a lot of interesting and timely information about real estate and more than content I'd love to send you. I thought I would share this on an email.
Doing other things too.
Here are someone with a real estate. First, I'd like to share a real estate app. And after you download the app and try it out, if you want to text me, what you think about it. I'm actually trying to help and use it for organizing these for me. It feels like, I want to sound like, I guess that's where it comes from.
It was one of those discussions. Oh, okay. It was all a video.
Was that in his first email?
I don't, I'm not gonna go take it,
I'm like, I took my personality test. That's okay. I'll find out for me myself how to come around.
Yeah.
Because then you can kind of go on topic with people and then sometimes you can steer it back in that direction. Because if you're on with a friend, you have to talk about sports or whatever. But if you get points, you very much keep in mind, like, okay, this is the next thing I've got to get to. Because from like this, I go down and
I'll probably use like a little key.
I guess we should just remind them to say.
Like there's certain stuff that's like hard to do certain things. It's like I'll find everything you need. Really, that's just a sales call, like necessarily anything else, but it feels like how to serve you. It's like it's stuff like that. It's like knowing those is
Honestly, I honestly have a letter in the
I just ordered it, it's supposed to be on Wednesday.
It's like,
There's other cool stuff in that you get.
no, I think it's no.
Well, so how do you spell that? Last name?
Yeah, I think they would never say that.
Yeah, she does. She does clean. And then she also feels that she's very funny. She just made her does it like
Anyways,
That's where I used to live. I used to live.
so this is Is it 31310287344?
And Mike can add something.
Your new one?
Really?
Do something, you know?
What app is that?
It's like I said, I work
And I've had
with
when I was
investors, so I have access to
Oh, you already have.
for like,
Okay.
because for finding houses and stuff like that. Guys who like, want to buy a house like this in this area, so you can find information, I give them just like, they still drive us, and I can find everyone's name that owns them. So I have access to a ton of stuff.
All right, so let's have a conversation about how that goes. I always love this conversation. I mean, I got it, sorry.
No, we're just talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
You're the one.
The timely information. Timely information.
But it's fine,
I thought-
money in it.
That's actually not a bad way to say it, because you can
Timely,
say,
yeah.
I have it right before it comes on the market, or right as it comes on the record. Or you want to snatch it up, I don't know. like what time
Yeah,
it is.
I care that my people get to be ahead of the curve because I have timely information. You know, most of what you can get on the internet alone is not timely. It's old information, and we don't have time for old information. So talk to me, how did it feel, talk to me.
Feel sure.
What's that? Yeah, and it sure feels scripted right now, it is. The more you do it, the less scripted it will feel. And there may be a line that you change a word in. The goal is not to, don't completely make it yourself, because there are words in there like timely information that, or whatever the words are. There are words in there that are purposely put in there so that you get a response. These were written by people who sold, Diana Kokoska wrote a lot of our scripts, and she sold 400 homes in 1 year, 25 years ago. Back before anybody sold that kind of home. So, yeah, believe in the system. Yes.
One of the biggest things with friends that I have is it's hard for them to answer the phone. I have a hard time just getting them on the phone.
Yep.
Is this something you could do through text? Because we respond a lot.
It's funny because last 6 months ago I would have said no because we didn't promote it. Now, Bold 2.0, which is our class, which is the new updated Bold, says yes, you can. Because we are in a text age, and we are. Now, if you are always only texting them, probably not good.
Right.
If you've got somebody that's a texter and you can't get them to answer the phone, then take them to coffee. Get in front of them. Don't allow the entire conversation to be text, because quite honestly, they won't always be honest in text. Quite honestly, they'll humor you, but they won't be honest. If you're sitting across from somebody and they want to buy a house, it's hard for them to say no. It's easy for them to say no on text or just avoid this conversation. So whatever you do, don't only stick to one means of communication. Inviting people for coffee is a great way to get in front of them. have that, just say, hey, look, I know we're both crazy busy, but I like coffee and I know you do too. How about we meet at Dunkin' Donuts in Westbrook for, 15 minutes just so we can catch up? It won't be 15 minutes, it'll take you 30, but at least you're respecting their time and you're getting them into a place where you can have a real back and forth conversation. Come from curiosity. That's another big thing. Ask about them. Ask about how they're doing. Don't spend too much time talking about you. Ask about them when you get them in front of you, because that's so important. All right, this is going to scare all of you half to death, but now I want you to pick up your phones, and I don't care if you call your mother, your sister, your aunt, I don't care who you call. I don't care who you call, but I want you all to call someone, and I want you to at least use the new to real estate script, and I want you to ask them for business. I want you to say, do you know anyone? Don't say who is the, or better yet, don't say do you know. Say, who do you know that wants to buy or sell a house now? Or invest in real estate, or buy a whatever that conversation is. So I want every one of you to pick up your phone, and I want you to call somebody.
But just this part.
Yeah, you can use just that part, but let them talk. Let them have a conversation with you so that you can, because they may ask some questions and you may be able to go on further. I just want you to pick up the phone. And I know, you're all looking at me like, are you kidding me? They're going to make you call in most every session, by the way. Except I think the next one doesn't because it's database. I don't know, they might make you call there too. So anyway, so pick up your phone, everybody pick up your phone. You can sit where you are. You can't leave the room. You can go and stand in that cubicle. Somebody can go back there. Nobody's going to be listening because everybody's just as afraid as the next guy. What's that?
Yeah.
So did I pick somebody randomly?
Yeah, you just pick a random. I don't care. Pick whoever you want to pick. I'll pick someone too, and I'll call somebody. Let's get a figure out. What's that? Can
we tell them that we're doing this as an exercise in class?
Yes, I'm in my first day of real estate class, and this is they're teaching us how to make calls, and this is something. So if you don't mind, can I have this conversation with you? I don't care how you do it. But you gotta pick up the phone. I'm trying to find someone I haven't talked to in a while, so I can call somebody.
Listen, I'm in first class today, and she's having us do the script for practice. Just about minutes. So next week it's this is not really
I'm in my class right now, and I'm gonna read you a script. You're my guinea pig. Hi, this is Jody Ballette. Hey, do you have a minute? I'd like to share some exciting news that I took in real estate agent. With this new partnership, I have all this knowledge working for me, plus my clients, all my enthusiasm and hard work. I thought about sharing this with you because I know you need someone to help you grow my business. How's that sound? Do you have a minute?
207.
Okay.
First, I'd like to share my real estate app. You can see what's going on from anywhere. Your street, any place. It's free. There's no cost to me.
No.
I can send you a text. so you can link to it. Does that sound good?
Okay.
And it was asked, who might you know from work
Yeah.
where you could or a group you belong to be interested in buying or selling or investing in real estate?
First, I
Anyone
will
you
share
know?
my real estate app with you. You can see what's going on anywhere.
Like a multifamily unit? Yeah, I know people who have fourplexes and threeplexes that
Right.
find and gain information.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah, awesome.
All right.
When do you want to
All right,
set
I'll
appointments?
call you.
Do you want to grab coffee
All right.
at
Bye-bye.
Starbucks in Auburn?
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. Oh my gosh, I love
Yeah, let's do Thursday at 10:30.
Work. Yes. Do a lot of travel, summer and stuff, see my sister going to Mexico.
Alright, awesome. And I will shoot you a text when any of the multifamilies that I
I'm
have.
just like, work, maybe next travel, like vacation.
Yeah, have a good one.
Well, I want to see.
Hey, Joe, this is Janice. So good to see you the other day. I wanted to spend my time get your price on
I know, it sounds scripted, doesn't it?
I had deleted it for some reason. I don't remember. I have interesting and tiny last year. It was just that funny there.
I know. I know.
Good. I know you were interested in multifamily stuff.
I'm in it right now, and I'm
Makes it easier.
exercise right now for real estate platform. You have a moment? All right. Okay. I'd like to share some exciting news that I found in the Tyler that I use at Tyler License Realty. My party now.
I might tell you.
With this new partnership, I have a lot of knowledge working with. Hi, this is Plus, my team has all my enthusiasm. Thank you for your time. I would say, do you have about sharing this experience because I knew you would be someone to help me grow my business. You know anyone who wants to sell or buy property?
I will keep, I'd like to share the exciting news that I have.
Yes.
Awesome, all right, thank you so much.
No, actually, this is just what we call it. It's called the script. It's called the script, so I'm just practicing.
Yeah.
I timed out.
But do you know anyone who wants to sell or buy a house?
Top drawer. There's a little piece of paper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got it.
After it comes up. You don't answer yourself. Sound like yours was successful, though.
I remember you were looking at it, so.
Yeah. So what you'll do is you'll hit.
Probably not the land, but I'm not.
Everyone loves multifamilies right now.
Do a search on
Don't blame them.
Especially duplexes,
the button that says make this money.
Right.
Is it families that all use duplexes, so that somebody else wants to
It's
rent it for it?
everything. Investors are normally going 3-4 units.
And not to all
I
of
don't have
them.
access to that stuff, but I will see.
The rules change.
So what's
They do. So 4 is residential, so
Right.
I have not worked with anything over 4, just because it's commercial.
Right. But, first of all, I'm a real estate advocate.
Oh, some help with
So that's big.
I feel like mostly I work helping investors buy properties.
Free, no cost to you.
I do only market. Investors don't want to touch anything on MLS because it's a bad deal. By the time it hits MLS, it's a bad
Right.
deal.
No, and there's more. And I'd like to ask, who might you know around their
I
neighborhood
have really good technology.
who's interested in buying or
And
selling?
I know how to contact anyone with any piece of information, so if I find anything, I in touch
maybe
with
come from
them.
Dr. Strong.
If I know your address, I can forward this to something that, like, I can look at a house and drive by, see a house I like, call the owner, send them an email, send them.
But they don't have to-
So I do a lot of work, like, basically. People like to think it's easy. They get
Well, I mean,
duplex,
if I live
you can go
in
buy a duplex, that's a state.
Yeah, in my
Or you
house,
can
in my
build it,
house.
that's easy. You want to cover for the guy who has 30
You and I
units
going out
right
to see them because they have new
now.
land.
That's a problem. That's not sitting.
The lot
That's
next to
full time.
their lot. So you don't want their.
Does the institutional permitted, they take like what, 10% of the?
Well, they take 10, so basically, that sounds really nice, that's what it's going to take 10%. Anytime anything breaks, basically they'll say like, they'll overcharge by ridiculous amounts anytime anything breaks, and that's how they get paid. So it's like, just 10%.
I might.
So basically, so a total bricks will be $100 for it. You're looking at $200 to have some guy go put it in, and we're gonna charge you $500 and then $200. And that's how they make their money, so he manages everything personally.
And so I guess
But he's looking for someone that he can trust.
because they're, they like things.
It doesn't hurt them all.
They're not the last.
A friend of mine, and I don't know anything but more unexplored resources, just started talking to
Everything I would do.
she's actually handling things. But when you find that like I said, she's a really sweetheart, and then she's not around her family.
And they might.
Well, it's the business, it's not really a rip-off, it's just like the businesses, you make money when their apartments fall apart, because no one wants to give you 50% commissions, but they'll accept it when something goes wrong.
And it's true, like, I'm gonna give you her phone number, and the name of the company, and this property.
I mean, whatever. That sounds like the right answer.
And I'll show you. Like I said, she's a counselor. And they just launched their business.
Is your son in real estate?
But it would be worth phone call saying.
I feel that.
I don't want to send her information.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. That's really good.
And it was decent.
Do you guys have the red located app sign locked yet? Do you have the red app? Go to do what you're doing and then go to your app store and type in Keller Williams Realty. And did you get to it? Okay, good. I know, I realized the app thing on it. Okay. Yeah, and then I'm gonna show you how easy it is to pay, so that's good. So, yep, make this my agent. Just touch it.
Everyone's going over here.
This, whenever they contact, say, hit contact, hit contact. Yes, yep, yep, here's, well, I'll show you that.
It's not
Just put two more.
These are some things that
Yeah, oh yeah, and when this, you can tell him, and I'll show you when you do it. You can tell him that this is powerful now, it's gonna be crazy powerful in another month. You're gonna be able to get plumbers off it, you're gonna be able to contact people on the Keller Williams Company is gonna have people in there. And
You've already gotten this.
Alright guys, she's still on the phone, which is good then. But if you don't have the Keller Williams Realty app, make sure that you download it right now, because I'm gonna show you how to use it. And it's crazy good. It's gonna, and it's going to be ridiculously good in another month or so. As soon as it, is that, are we still on track for the end of?
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, so first of all, if you don't have the Keller Williams Realty app, go to your app store and type in Keller Williams Realty. You have two apps at Keller Williams. Kelly, which is your remote control, And Keller Williams Realty app is the consumer app. It's what the consumers see. It's what you share with the consumers. It's what you were using in this script. So Keller Williams Realty, it's red. And if you're not sure, yep, it's that one right there. That one, get that one. And you use, yep, you got it.
So it's this one, the.
That's right, get that, yep.
And then this one.
The Kelly also, yeah. But get the red one for now so I can tell you how to use it. So have you made it your own? If you haven't, have you made it your own? If you go and you hit contact agent, does your name pop up?
I bet yours is gonna pop up.
Or mine, no, we have to change yours, yeah, that's true.
It's still down.
Okay, perfect.
Is there Wi-Fi here? It's not gonna download without offline with that.
Oh, there's Wi-Fi right there. Netgear, and it's Fresh Comet 596. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, I just want to make sure you get the right one. So it is once you get that app, you have to make it your own, which means you're going to hit find an agent. You're going to find yourself, and it's going to say make this my agent ? You're going to say yes. The reason you do that is now every time you share it, or someone else shares it with someone, and they hit contact agent, they call you. Oh, how great that is. So, and I'm going to just go through a few things on this app with you so that you can know how it functions. I'm telling you, nobody sits next to me on an airplane and doesn't get this app.
Okay, sorry,
Except for this.
okay, PW Fresh.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is Netgear or Netgear 5G.
Oh, okay.
And either one, yep. And it's Fresh Comet 596, no capitals. For the Wi-Fi.
So you just.
Did you find yourself? Yep. Yep. So now just find yourself. Oh, yep. Okay, search for an agent. Is that you? Yes, it is. Make this my agent. Yes. Yep. You just touch it. Just touch it. Okay. Now, when somebody uses this, they call you directly. Don't worry about it. And then I'm going to show you a bunch of other things once we do them. All right. Does everybody have it? Yeah.
I think I just need to log in.
Yeah, let's go back. Well, hold on a second. Go back and go back to here. Oh, contact agent. Yeah, you do have me. Yeah. Heather, do you know how to change? I had shared my app with Erica. Do you know how to
delete it? I deleted it with you in that thing, and then I just downloaded it just now.
It still says
but it's asking me for. I can get to a page where it asks me for a login. If I log in as the agent, how will it switch me?
Yeah, now I'm just sharing.
Oh, okay, you did it. You figured out share. Okay, cool. Okay.
So you said hit share.
So actually, when you first log in, you hit agent search, put in your name.
You're right on command right now, and do a chat with support and see how we do that. Because I know they were talking about with the landing pages that people won't be able to just delete you.
Okay.
So I know they're changing because of that.
I'm under my agent, contact your agent's info, but is there a button that says switch agent? I don't see.
No, there isn't. They wanted to make it as difficult as possible for people to. No, seriously, that was an intentional thing, right? So let me.
Okay, so let's do a couple things with the app, then I want to do calendar, and then we're going to break up. So, we're not breaking up. We're going to finish the class. So, get into your app. Make sure that with the exception of Erica, who has my app right now, which we'll get that fixed. You might have to have Scholar Roy do it, because there is something you have to take down and do back up. I'm not doing it. So, you've got the app. Everybody has the red app in front of them. Did everybody click contact agent and make sure, except with Erica, that your own phone number and your name comes up?
Mine doesn't,
Yours doesn't yet. Did you hit make me my agent? Or agent search? Let me show you. Yeah, you haven't assigned it yet. That's why. So, yeah, if you go back here, go agent search, put in your name, and then search for an agent at the bottom. And then when it pops up, it says make this my agent, say yes. Just touch the radio button and it will say yes. So once you have that,
So it has automatically has all our phone numbers and everything?
Yep, it should have all your contact. Now, if I were you, you might hit email the agent and check and make sure. Oh gosh, look at that. My email is wrong. I still get that email, but it's not the one I use all
So
the time.
email for info, okay.
So you hit that, you hit text for info, make sure it comes up to the right text. And when you hit text for info, you can see you've set it up to text. Mine says, hi, I'm using your mobile app and would like to talk to you, thanks, and my name.
Okay.
So depends on, how you have it set up. Okay, nearby homes, anywhere in North America, somebody can be sitting in a neighborhood, they can hit that little box that says nearby homes, and it will show homes near them. That's one of the biggest things I sell about this app. I say, look, when you're sitting and if you like a certain area, go drive there, sit there, hit see homes near me, and you'll see everything that's for sale in the area. When they find a house that they like, hold on, I picked the lousy one. When they find a house that they like and they click on it, it opens up. If they scroll down, it will give them all of the information they need about the house. If they click on the picture, this is one of my other favorite things, if they touch the picture and turn it sideways, they can have really great, much bigger photos of the entire property. Every photo that's online, they have access to. It's very cool. When you're done with that, when you're going to go back to the thing, there's a little X in the top right-hand corner to go back to the actual listing. So if you're in photos, you click on the little X and it will take you back. I've been stuck in photos and I didn't know how to get out, so I learned that. You can also get pre-approved if you are connected to Keller Mortgage. Does anybody in here have a get pre-approved button? Okay, good. I wasn't sure if they were automatically connecting everybody or I have a little red get pre-approved. If you don't have that, you talk to Joe, you need to get connected to Keller Mortgage. Great experience, by the way, for me. My son used Keller Mortgage and had a great experience. I do know, but I can't, Jeremy? No, I can't, I'll get you his number. I'll get you his name. Because he was excellent. I'm like, you remember, I thought for sure I was going to throw that right out of my mouth that it didn't come out. All right, so sharing the app. When you're back to the home page, in the bottom there's a little button that says share app. You click share app, you click text or email, you type in their number and you hit send. That's how hard it is. You can put your cursor in front of download Greater Portland and you can type in, hey Joe, really excited to share this app with you, blah, 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 blah. Click the link and download. In future, if you want to reach out to me, just click my name on the app and you'll be able to email me directly, They can save properties they like, they can share properties they like, all kinds of opportunities in that app.
And then you can see it on your end, what they've liked and shared.
If they save it. If they don't save it, you can't. Or if they share it with you, of course. The most important part of this is what this is going to be in another month or two. My sincere and strong opinion is nobody will ever use another real estate app once our mobile consumer app rolls out the new one. This is the old one. When that new one rolls out, crazy. They're going to be able to go on and say, I want to see houses between here and my work. And they're going to be able to draw maps that go to their work. They're going to be able to find plumbers. They're going to be able to apply for a mortgage. When you put them under contract, they're going to be able to see their documents in their own mobile app. Every single person in our database will technically have their own app, their own login place through their own mobile app. Really cool, really powerful stuff. So just know that it's coming. Use it, share it, and nobody doesn't want stuff like this for the most part. All right, so I just want to cover one more thing before we finish, and that's calendars. How many of you have a calendar that you live by? How many of you use Google? I knew the young guy, but the young guys are always using the Google. No, I'm kidding. So you need a calendar. It's probably, other than a cell phone, it might be the most important thing in your life right now. This is my Google Calendar. This is actually it. one of the best parts about a Google Calendar, people say to me all the time, well, I can't because I already have my son, on my personal one. Well, look at this. Watch what happens when I start clicking these different people, these different calendars here. I can all of a sudden see all kinds of information about every single person on my team, where they are, what they're doing, and what, all with a click of a button. Or I can just go back here and say display only this calendar. So there is a huge opportunity here for you, whether or not you do it as a business calendar or you do it as your family and your business, but you have to have a calendar. So get in, your KW email addresses are Google addresses. So you all have a Google Calendar. If you're not comfortable with Google Calendars, play with them. It's so easy to create tasks, to create anything.
Is there a tutorial there, or it just shows you how to mark days and stuff?
For example,
I'm trying to figure out how to put myself on the calendar that's already on the Keller Williams.
No, what you're going to do is you're going to have your calendar, you're going to bring Keller Williams' calendar into yours.
Okay. Well, it says my name on it already, so I guess it is mine, but it also has the Keller Williams stuff on it.
Yeah. Okay, so then that's, right up here in this corner, if this should be, that's your login for Keller Williams. If you're logged into your Gmail, so look, here's my Gmail. When you go to these 9 buttons here, and you click on calendar, that is your Keller Williams calendar.
Okay.
So I do it again. You're logged in as you go to these 9 buttons, you choose calendar, and this is your calendar.
Okay, I'll figure it out.
To add a calendar, you can search for people here if they have Gmail, any version of Gmail. And once they accept your thing, you can now see them. Like I said, you don't have to look at all of these. You can get them off. But you can very easily make another calendar that says Sean's soccer. Let's say you've got a crazy kid that's Sean and he plays soccer all over the near Northeast. You can make a Sean soccer calendar and make a separate one that keeps Sean, so you don't have to look at it every day. But if you need to know what time his practice is, you can click on it. Time blocking. Blocking specific times to do certain things. I would like to charge you, and I might even come in here Wednesday morning and check on you. I want you to all open your Google Calendars, and I want you to put Ignite in every single Ignite session from now to the end. Put it in. It's a calendar. Mark it in your calendar. You should have a little space tomorrow that says watch the mission videos. Block yourself 30 minutes tomorrow. Watch the mission videos. All of everything, if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. If you don't have it in your calendar, you're not going to be accountable to it. You're not going to make it happen. So, all right. In your book, there's more information about other things to put in your calendar. Accountability. The person that you sat with today at your during scripts is your accountability partner going forward for the next 12 sessions of Ignite. And all I mean by that is that I would suggest that each one of you call each other tomorrow sometime in the day, exchange contact information, and say, hey, did you watch those videos? Hey, did you talk to 10 people? Start getting used to being accountable to each other. It doesn't mean you're going to be disappointed or be nothing, But if I know you're going to call me, there's a lot better chance that I'm going to watch those videos because she's going to call me tomorrow. Set a time. Say, let's talk at 5 o'clock or 4:30 every other day, or you could do it every other while you're in Ignite, After Ignite, you may have other options for accountability. You'll have Joe, and if you're on a team, you have team stuff. So there'll be other options. But during Ignite, if each of you talks to each other once a day and says, hey, did you write your handwritten note today? The other one might say, I'm struggling so much with that, I don't know what to say. And then you might say, well, hey, who are you writing to? Well, I'm writing to my mother's best friend. Okay, great. So how do you know your mother, best friend? Well, because she used to hang out at the house. I miss seeing you at the house. It was so fun when you used to come over and I was help each other come up with what to say in those sessions during that time. So have an accountability session each day, even if it's for 5 minutes, to hold. Anne-Marie McKenzie, my business partner, just walked by the door. We talk every single morning at between 7:30 and 8:15. I'm a little more early bird than she is, so sometimes I have to get her up. No. So make sure that you have that. Now our accountability is, okay, what do you got going today? Where are you going to be? What do you need me to do? In your case, it's did you make those calls? Did you talk to 10 people about real estate? Because when you leave here today, your job is to go find 10 people to talk to. You'd be like me. I sit at a bar and I find people to talk to in real estate. I go to laundromat and I find people to talk to about real estate. I could go out and get a listing right now and come back here in an hour and I'd have a listing. I don't know where I get it, but I go find it. So know that that's your charge moving forward, is to be able to do that. All right, so let's take a minute about any ahas. What was your biggest, we're going to call it aha, about today and about this class, and what did you learn today that you're going to take away from this class? We're not going to leave each other until I get 3, so just you got to help me out here. I got this over 19 times. Okay. What'd you learn?
Yes, just that there's a good structure in place if you have any questions, things to fall back on. Questions are already answered. It's a good foundation.
Yeah. Thank you. People have lived before you, and that's one of the things we say. People have lived before you. There's another whole class of Ignite that 6 weeks ago went through the same thing, and meet them, find them, because they know a little bit more than you know right now, and they've been through. So use that. So good job. To another one. Come on, you had to have learned something. We spent 3 hours together. Come on. Come on.
Don't call your mom when you're doing scripts.
What's that?
Don't call your mom when you're doing scripts.
Oh, okay.
I was like, no, I'll do that.
Erica, what did you say?
About the, first, to internalize the scripts first and then start to customize them once you internalize them.
Yes. Memorize, internalize, then customize. Because we had one success story in the class. What happened when you called? What happened on the call you made?
Oh, I learned how to do the Kelly meeting.
Yeah, and what did the person say? He wanted you to share the app with him. He said, yeah, I'd love to have your app. Oh, hello. It works,
That was my aha.
Yeah.
The Keller Williams room.
Yeah.
That's like a no-brainer. So
Yeah.
easy to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And they
So is that better
people
than
want it.
Flex MLS though? Because if you're sending